All right. Peace, peace, peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to everybody who's going to see this now, everybody who's going to see this later on. I just want to begin by saying peace and blessings. We're in a holiday season. The new year is about to begin. But also, I want to say that this is also Sagittarius season. For all my Sagittariuses, with that Sagittarius energy, with that creative energy, with that fiery energy, we want to say peace and blessings. Hey, what's up, cuz? How you doing? We want to say peace and blessings to all of y'all. Bring that Sagittarius energy in. Bring that love energy in. Bring that powerful energy in. So what we're doing right now, I want to talk to you guys about my book. I wrote a book. It's called Easy. And I've been meaning to do this live stream for a little while to break down what the book is, why I wrote it, and how it could benefit your little ones. So I wrote this book because I used to work at a school. I used to work at a public school in my hometown, Hartford, Connecticut. I actually went to the school when I was young. Actually, I went to two schools. I worked at two schools that I went to when I was young. Clark Elementary School, which they shut down, then Simpson Waverly School, which they shut down. These are two public schools in my hometown. And when I worked at that school, I worked at a drug rehab facility. I worked at a transitional living facility. So I worked with the youth. I worked with mostly young kids from like as young as I think 9. From as young as 9, it's all the way up to even adults. I worked at a drug rehab facility for adults as well. But mainly I'm talking about the young ones. When I work with the young ones, I noticed that a lot of these kids were coming from stressful situations at home. They were coming from stressful situations at home. They were coming from stressful situations in the inner cities. They would come to the school, and then we put the burden on them and tell them, hey, sit down, be quiet, get the work done. And a lot of these kids, because they felt maybe unsafe at home or unsafe in the community, they would have these behavior issues. Some of these kids would be on medication. Some of these kids would forget their medication. Sometimes some of these kids had undiagnosed mental health issues. But if you work in a mental health field, you can see it and you kind of know that something needs to be addressed. And so working in this situation where it can sometimes get very hectic, these kids get very overwhelmed. These kids are acting out, but they're not acting out because they're bad kids. I don't believe there's no such thing as a bad kid. It's just a kid who's trying to communicate how they feel without the vocabulary and without the coping skills and without the communication skills to properly communicate how they're feeling to you. So what they do is they will quote unquote act out. They'll talk back. They'll cuss at you. They'll start fights in school. They come to school with their hoodies on. Why they got that hoodie on? Because without the hoodie on, they feel exposed. They feel unsafe. They feel like everybody's looking at them. They feel embarrassed. They feel ashamed. So they put that hoodie on. It limits their field of vision. They can only see what's right in front of them. And they don't get overwhelmed with trying to deal with all of this out here. They only got to deal with a little bit of what's in front of them. And working with these young men and working with these young ladies, I would sometimes think to myself, what could I do to help? And so that's what inspired me to start teaching meditation and mindfulness to young ones. I started a program. I didn't get paid for the program, but I was working at the school and I figured I may as well do my best to help as best I could. And I started a mindfulness meditation program where I would work with the kids in the classroom where I was working who were 6th graders. And I would take them out of the classroom. I would take them to a little office that I had. It was a classroom that had been emptied, and I just kind of commandeered it. I just said, this is my office. So I would take the kids in there. It'd be like a group of 3 or 4 of them. We would all sit together and we would all meditate for maybe 5 minutes. If they could sit still long enough, we would do a 10-minute meditation session, and they would relax and they would calm down. And if we did the meditation sessions enough, they would be able to go to class and just relax and not get in trouble, not talk back, not create disruptions, not feel unsafe, not feel angry. For a long time of me teaching meditation in the school, I kept notes and documentations of how the meditations was working with the young people. And you see consistently throughout these interactions that they will be able to calm down. They will be able to go back to the classroom. They will be able to go back in there and focus on their work. Or if they had trouble focusing on the work, at least they will be able to go back to the classroom and relax enough where they could communicate how they were feeling without creating a big disruption. So the mindfulness and meditation works, and I have proof that it works. So I can't be everywhere at once, and having somebody give you permission to go to a school and work with students could sometimes be a prolonged process. So I came up with the idea to write this book, Easy, A Guide to Mindfulness and Meditation. I wrote this because I wanted to find a way to create a curriculum for young ones. So when I wasn't physically able to get into a school, at least the information would be able to get to the school and the kids can benefit. I wrote this for a curriculum for school, but I also wrote it with the intention of if you're a parent who has a little one who might need a little bit of help, a little bit of support, I wrote this so you could work on the activities and work on the meditations with your little one at home. This is not a let's be honest, and let's not give the kids the responsibility and say, here, take this book and go learn how to calm down. No, this is meant to be a project that adults and kids can work on together, because a child can't build themselves. The parents have to be involved. The teachers have to be involved. The community has to be involved. So it's designed to be a project where the little one can learn about how to be more self-aware and more and love themselves more. But it's also there for you as an adult to do the project with them, to read their chapters with them, to go over the questions with them, to go over the glossary with them, so you could build a rapport. Quite often, us as parents, we look at our kids and we're confused by our children's behavior sometimes. And we're like, why is he acting that way? Why is she acting that way? However, if you're spending time with them and reading the book, going over the questions, guess what's happening? You're building a bridge. Quite often our kids start acting out when we burn a bridge between them. We don't intentionally do it, but sometimes we're so stressed out as parents on a subconscious level, we burn a bridge between us and our kids. But sitting down and reading with the children, doing the meditations and the mindfulness with the children, answering the questions in the book, but also answering their they might have personal questions they want to ask you. And by answering these questions and providing this safe space where we can communicate and be mindful together, you build a bridge. It's not enough people out there building bridges with the little ones. And let me also say, it's not fair. It's not fair that a lot of times we as parents put this big burden on these kids and say, okay, it's time for you to behave. You got to behave. But we're not trying to connect with them. We're not trying to find out what's going on with them. We're not trying to give them tools so they can behave. Mindfulness and meditation is a tool that they can utilize to regulate their bodies. And also what's important for us as parents to realize too, we got to regulate ourselves. I have kids, I have 2 sons. My sons start acting out. Instead of me yelling at them and trying to check them, I look at myself first. I got to ask myself, what am I doing? How can I improve? And then once I answer that question, 9 times out of 10, they calm down and they go back to being their sweet, beautiful selves. So it's important that we have the tools necessary, that we have the curriculum necessary, that we teach them the skills so that they can do the things that we're asking them to do. And so this book, Easy, A Guide to Mindfulness and Meditation, I want y'all to reach out, buy your copy of the book. If you got little ones at home and Christmas time is rolling around, everybody wants to buy presents and toys for Christmas, and there's nothing wrong with that. Have fun, enjoy yourself. But a lot of parents are concerned about making sure they get some gifts that are educational as well. And I think this is the perfect gift. If you got a little one who likes to read, age 8 to 12, and if you like to read with them and sit down and enjoy that parent-child connection time, this is a great gift. Go to my website. It's www.devinmccrory.com. My name is DevinMccrory. Let me put that in here for y'all. And all we want is for y'all to reach out, get yourself a copy of the book. Get yourself a copy of the book and let your children benefit from the knowledge that we provide. We're here to help. And shout out to Proven Publishing. I published this book with Proven Publishing, Supreme Understanding, and a great brother named Haru. They work with me. They help me put the book together. They helped me to design it. They helped me to get copies of it. They showed me the whole process. It was a learning experience, and those brothers held me down. And I recommend anybody who's looking to self-publish also hit up Proven Publishing. Great brothers, very wise brothers, very intelligent brothers. They help me out. They can help you out as well. And I want y'all to. Yep, thank you very much. I appreciate that, cuz. Yes. And I want y'all to reach out to and get your hands on a copy of the book. It's called Easy, A Guide to Mindfulness and Meditation. And also the reason why you see the cover design this way, you're like, why is this, beautiful young black sister on the cover? Because you typically don't see that. And that's the reason why we did it. Whenever we talk about mindfulness and meditation, the first images that pop into your head is an Indian mystic or a guru somewhere. What we wanted to do was we wanted to show that this is a universal tool that we are allowed to. We're allowed to use. We're allowed access to this tool to build up our confidence, to build up our focus, to build up our communication skills. Don't think about mindfulness and meditation as something that belongs to somebody else. This is a universal tool. It's in all cultures. All cultures have some variation, some version of mindfulness and meditation. They have something in their culture that helps them to tap into their inner power and regulate their central nervous system. Some people call that meditation. In Islam, they call it muraqabah. Over in Hinduism, they might use a mantra. They have different terminology, but it's all trying to accomplish the same goal. This is a non-denominational, non-religious set of techniques that you could teach your children. I'm not trying to push a certain spiritual path, a certain spirituality, but what we are trying to do is we're trying to show the scientific uses of mindfulness and meditation. So some people might be concerned and think, well, I'm a Christian, I can't meditate. Well, this is strictly non-religious. I'm not trying to push a religion to you. I'm not trying to get you to go against your religious concepts or your God concepts. But what we want you to do is use these tools to empower yourself and empower your kids. We want the children to be able to have access to the things that they need. So ladies and gentlemen, please reach out. Once again, that's www.devinmccrory.com. I'm trying to see if I could pin this comment. It won't let me pin the comment. There we go. So that's www.devinmccrory.com, where you can get your copy of Easy, A Guide to Mindfulness and Meditation. It's for little ones, ages 8 to 12, to teach them the skills of mindfulness and meditation. It's written and designed like a school textbook. There's chapters with the information. There's a glossary for terminology that they might not understand. And there's also questions at the end of each chapter to make sure that they're comprehending what they're reading, and so they can ask questions of you so you can assist them. There's also mindfulness and meditation techniques in each chapter. So if you have a little one who wants to learn how to be mindful and wants to learn how to meditate, have them sit down and just read each chapter, the meditation section of each chapter, and go over it nice and slow with them and watch how they change. Watch how they begin to improve. And this is not something that I'm promoting because, this is a theory of mine. It's not a theory. I've done the research and I have the documentation. In my other room, there's an old computer that I was using while I was working in the schools. And every single meditation session, I have notes to show how the student was behaving before the meditation session, what meditation techniques we used, and how the student behaved for the rest of the day after the meditation session. And I'm not going to sit here and say that it was that I solved all their problems in 2 seconds. No. But what I am going to say is that you'll see a consistent, marked improvement in behavior after the meditation session consistently. You'll see consistent improvement. You'll see consistent numbers of more calm behavior, learning how to think before they respond, taking time to use meditation and mindfulness techniques. So instead of getting angry, instead of getting upset, they would just calm themselves down and take deep, slow breaths. They were using the techniques that I was teaching them right in the midst of these tough situations they would find themselves in. So it works. How do I know it works? Because I've been doing this for years. I've been in the trenches. Some people might say it works, and they may have done a bunch of research. I've done the same research that they've done. However, I've been teaching mindfulness and meditation in the trenches, meaning that I'm working with kids with real, intense things going on in their home life. And we got to help them, and we got to stand with them, and we got to provide them with the tools they need. I provided them with the tools they need. I got the documentation to show you how it was working. And you might look at me and think to yourself, oh man, you just some dude from the hood. I'm not at all, but I look like a dude. I look like a dude who got locked and converted to Islam. I just got that face. I don't know what it is. But I'm not. I'm a nerd. I'm just a nerd who's in the trenches trying to educate the children. And I'm telling y'all from personal experience, I'm telling y'all from knowledge, I'm telling y'all from things that I've seen, things that I've done, techniques that I've tried. I'm telling you, this is a way to assist your child and empower your child. And once your child they know they have your support, and they know you're there to empower them, and you're on their side, y'all on the same team, it's going to bring y'all together and help improve that behavior along with the techniques that we teach and provide in this book. This book was a book that came out of my soul. It was a book that I had been thinking about for such a long period of time and planning on it for such a long period of time. When I sat down to write it, I wrote it relatively quickly. And it is a short book, but it came out of me. real fast with so much energy and so much passion and so much power. Trust me when I tell y'all. Peace, what's going on, Queen? Trust me when I tell y'all, this book right here, I've utilized these techniques to uplift the children in the schools where I worked, in the transitional living facilities where I worked, and in the drug rehab facilities where I've worked. I've worked with children in drug rehab facilities for years and introduced many kids, dozens and dozens of young men to mindfulness and meditation. And it got to the point where it was such a relaxing and enjoyable experience for them. These young men, when I walked through the door, these young men would sometimes come running up to me. Teenagers. Now, you know how hard it is to get teenagers to get involved in things that we want them to get involved in as adults. Sometimes you want your child to do something. Once they become a teenager, they want to do their own thing. But a lot of these kids enjoy mindfulness and meditation so much, they would come to me. Like, yo, Dad, we got to meditate. Dad, when we going to meditate? I come through the door for my shift because I used to work second shift and third shift. I would come in second shift and they'd be like, Dad, come on, we got to meditate right now. I was waiting for you all this time. Come on, let's go. They would be ready. They would be prepared because they enjoyed the experience so much. And they knew that the experience was necessary to help them regulate themselves, because we had a lot of kids who were dealing with anger issues, behavior issues, impulse issues, especially teenagers. So now we put them in a position, we're giving them education, we give them knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Now they're able to control themselves. And that's a beautiful thing. When a child realizes they have the power to control themselves and they feel empowered, oh my goodness, the transformation that takes over. It's a slow transformation, but once you're able to get them to realize their own power at self-control and self-awareness, you plant a seed that's so beautiful that when it blooms and blossoms, they develop into better people. That's the goal, is to make situations where these young people can evolve and become better people and overcome their pain, overcome their trauma. But you plant the seed. You plant the seed by teaching them these skills and showing them their power. If you could show them their power, if you could show these young ones their power, it's amazing what you can accomplish. That's why I wrote this book, to empower young ones. I didn't write this book to glorify myself in no way, shape, or form. I wrote this book to empower and glorify our young ones. That's why you got the book is written for everybody, but I put a little black girl on the cover of the book. Why? Because I want to empower little black girls. I want to empower little black boys. I want to empower the people from our community who feel like they don't have the tools. They feel like they don't have a right to these tools. That's why when I was meditating and using mindfulness, people would describe it as white boy stuff. Oh, that's right, white boy stuff. No, it ain't white boy. It ain't Indian. It ain't nothing. It belongs to the whole human family. This is a part of our tradition. This is a part of our history. We got to stop making it seem like we don't have a right to the same tools that everybody else has. We gotta achieve the same goals, but we teach ourselves that we don't have the right to the same tools. So we got to work 20 times as hard to achieve nothing. Whereas if we use the available tools and use the available technology, we can compete in this hyper-competitive world. And the thing that people are competing for, yes, people are competing for money, they're competing for jobs, they're competing for resources and power, but more than anything, they're competing for control over the people. And if you can teach your children to control themselves, that makes it so that outside forces can't control them. We getting deep. I know we're getting deep. I know this video is getting a little bit long, but this is something I'm passionate about. So reach out, please. Get your hands on this book, www.devinmccrory.com. I'll pin the comment at the bottom so y'all see it at the bottom of the screen. Get your hands on this book and sit down with your children. Get this for them for Christmas. Christmas is coming up. New Year's is coming up. New year, new you. Get this book for the children. And I'm pretty sure some adults that could benefit from this book as well. And building that bridge and building that connection is going to be a beautiful thing. Don't think the war is over. Don't think that you don't know what to do to help your kids. There's tools out there. There's resources out there. And I want this to be in your toolkit. I want this to be in your toolbox. I want this to be a resource that you reach for when you can't understand your child. And when you need to build that bridge and rebuild that connection, yeah, you can utilize this tool. Trust me, these techniques I've used. I've worked in the trenches with the youth. I've worked with, and every single job that I've had, I've always said, you know what, let me work with the most challenging kids. Let me work with the most challenging kids. The kids that the other adults are done with, or the other adults are frustrated by, or the other adults can't connect with. I'm like, let me work with him. Let me work with that kid right there. And I'm almost always able to build that connection. And I took the tools that I utilize of being patient, being curious and non-judgmental, learning how to listen. All of that's here. But the most important thing is we teaching these young people to empower themselves, and we're empowering them. And when a young person realizes you're empowering them, and they realize that you don't see them as an enemy, you don't see them as the ops, you see these young people as somebody who you're on the same team. When they realize that you're willing to advocate for them and willing to put the work in for them, you build trust, you build that bridge. You build that bridge. So I'm reaching out to all the parents out there. Get this book for your little one. Get it for Christmas. If I get the order, as soon as I get the order, the post office is right down the street. I'll get these orders. I'll drop it right in the box same day. Get your hands on a copy of this book for Christmas. Get it for New Year's, New Year, New You, New Year, New Connections, New Year, New Child. Let's do this together. All right? I'm going to holler at y'all a little bit later. Peace and blessings. Once again, the name of the book is Easy, A Guide to Mindfulness and Meditation. It is for kids 8 to 12. You can get it. I pinned the comment at www.devinmccrory.com. That's DEVINMCCROREY.com. First name first, last name last. Peace and blessings to y'all. Get your hands on this book. I love y'all. I love the youth. I've been in the community for years. I just moved down here to Maryland, and we striving to make connections in the community here as well. Let's do this, man. Our children need us. Our children need us to be active, not just to complain about them, not just to be baffled by them. They need us to be actively involved. This is a way of getting actively involved. Let's do this. All right, peace.